Good afternoon, good afternoon. How's it going? Hope you guys are doing well. Had a busy morning back at the office, and today I am sipping on a Aperol Spritz. God, those things are deadly. It tastes like drinking a fruity, punchy, fresh drink. You got to be careful with those because they go down too easily. So 2 o'clock now. We'll get things rolling. So, guys, look at gold, huh? We had institutional demand coming in here on the daily time frame. We had a signal on the 1 hour right here, momentum shift, boom, and it's been rocking to the upside ever since. And now we just got another institutional demand zone being created right here, and prices rallying up and consolidating at the highs. So we could get another situation where price is going to drop down into demand and shoot up again. Wouldn't be surprised if that took place. But I wouldn't buy blindly at that zone. I would look for a signal. Okay, look at the RSI. The RSI is telling us that this is way overbought. Okay, but even though it's overbought, I mean, it's still jetting to the upside. So it's kind of ridiculous how much strength this has. But let's take a look at let's take a look at the data, the latest CFTC data. Take a look here, okay? So as you can see, we're getting aggressive with long positions, right? All-time maximum size on longs is 408,000. So we're at 322. I mean, they still have room to add if they want to, okay? We haven't reached maximum size yet, so there is still room. It's just typically when you look at a chart that is so overly pushed. Look at this here. Okay, came down, up, just up in the 80s, 84s, the RSI. Okay, it's just really well overdone. We typically see a pullback, but this was a pullback into daily demand before it took off again. So who knows? We can get a drop down here. I'll definitely be looking for long signals here. So I'll put in an alert here. Price coming down to the daily demand zone. Look for a long signal. Okay. Because this is pretty much what's going on here. Same thing that took place recently. Okay. This whole situation is being copied here. Rally, base, demand, drop to demand, take off. And the same thing, a drop, base, rally, another base, we get the drop, we can see this continue up like that. Okay, it obviously doesn't want to slow down. So long situation is the way to go. Silver, same thing. Only thing on silver is that we contacted some supply. I told you I had this mapped out. I shared it with members, and I think I might have even shared it with you guys in one of the videos. But here's institutional supply, major institutional supply zone that goes way back. And we could be reacting to that supply right now, which could produce something bigger in terms of a move to the downside. So that's why we should be careful with going long at that daily demand zone on gold, because if we're going to see a bigger pullback here, then gold could follow suit and come down a little bit more than just that daily demand zone. Okay, so some things to be watching for with respect to gold and silver. Troy son, wow, long time no see, Kevin. I didn't think I would catch a live section with you on break. Oh, good. Well, I'm glad you joined. Would you take a sell into your daily demand if a signal is given, or only look for buys on gold? Would I take a sell into daily demand? You mean selling from where it's at now down to demand? No, I would not do that at all. Okay, I get asked that a lot. People say, well, if you're expecting a move to the downside, no, I'm not expecting a move to the downside. No. People tend to hear what they want to hear, and that's okay. That happens to everybody, especially when you are thinking something. You're thinking, oh, if he thinks it's going to drop down to that demand zone where he wants to take a long, why wouldn't he just short it down to that? No, because that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that I think it's going to go down. I don't know if it's going to go down. It could continue going higher. It could pause here and go higher. So why would I want to short? There's no institutional supply here on this chart that would give me an indication that price is going to drop right now. Okay, we are at all-time highs. So the chances of a drop because silver contacted supply is higher, but still there's no supply here on this chart. I would not short gold. The only time I would ever short gold, see the weekly chart. Looks like we have some institutional demand here. I would not short gold unless there is a significant shift to the downside with no demand zones on the monthly time frame to stop price from dropping. Okay, so you see this trend line here? Like price would have to do something like, okay, produce supply and then rally up. And then here I would short. That's where I would short gold. But on a short term trying to short gold, no, wouldn't do that. It's like walking in the middle of it's like trying to cross a highway blindfolded. Okay, there's a small chance you might make it, but nobody would want to do that. Okay, because when you know what the risks are, you're like, you're crazy. I wouldn't do that. So I would not do that. I would only be going long gold at demand zones. Okay. So that's what's going on. It just keeps on ripping higher, keeps on ripping higher. And price came down to that weekly demand zone. It's never looked back. In terms of real structured institutional buying, we saw that taking place on silver. And it started here. Continued here. No, even further back. Even further back here. And we spotted this and we were pointing this out to members. It started here. Okay, majorly. Well, it actually started back here. And then it continued here. And here. And then here. And then here. And then here. 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 Okay. We spotted all the buying that was coming in on the charts on the higher time frame, and then it started building momentum to the upside ever since. All right, so yeah, big moves, but watch for a drop on gold now because of that contact with supply on silver. Okay, I think there's a good chance that we're going to see a drop there. As for the dollar, what I'm seeing here is very important because we contacted a significant area of demand here on the monthly time frame. And so when institutional demand is contacted, on a higher time frame like this. Typically, not always, but the vast majority of times, what we'll see is a big push to the upside. Okay, but it doesn't just happen overnight because we're talking about a monthly demand zone being contacted, and so such a high time frame demand being contacted means that if price is going to shift momentum, it's going to take multiple weeks to do that. And so if you know it's going to take multiple weeks, then you have to be paying attention to the weekly time frame. And when weekly contacted this demand zone, the RSI was very weak, well below 40. Okay. And as you know, for there to be a launch pad on price, we need it to surpass 40, come back to 40 base and rally. And that will be the launch pad that will drive price past previous highs. So I said, it's going to take its time. It's going to take its time. So we need to watch the weekly time frame to watch for that shift of momentum. And so take a look at what's been going on. Really weak. Now it creeped up above 40, but not by a lot. Came back down, creeped up a lot, coming back down. So the momentum is getting there, but it's not quite there yet. What we need is a nice push up, and then that will be a good long signal, or a signal to indicate that the dollar is going to be strong for some time. Okay, so that's in the process of shifting. Here's the demand zone on the monthly time frame that I was telling you about. I have targets at 101.70. Okay. I was also mentioning this daily area of demand that's been contacted several times. Look, 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 and again. So I think this will indicate upside when it gets removed. Okay. So you see the reaction to the downside. Sooner or later, it's going to rally up, break through that, and that's going to signal some strong strength to the upside. All right, that's the dollar. Let's look at the euro. So if you ever wondered just how important it is to understand institutional buying and selling and the zones that they create in the chart, well, here's a perfect example. We're tracking the supply zone here that was removed, okay, which led us to locate this demand zone here, which was respected and allowed for price to rally up, okay? They came in, create another area of buying, and then they removed it because short-term selling was what they wanted to focus on. So here's the short-term selling that they wanted to focus on. And now we have price rallying from short-term buying zone that we located back here, okay? So this is the dynamic that is currently in play. We have a demand zone keeping price up. We have a supply zone just above price. So I'm interested in shorting the euro. And it's quite a difficult chart to short right now because there's no downtrends and there's no major supply zones. Okay, so you have to get a little bit creative and really get into the heads of the banks to understand what their thinking is. And one of the ways that we do that is by examining the institutional positions here from the CFTC. And we can see that their maximum size on longs, the biggest long position they've ever held on the euro, was 266,000. So we're creeping up steadily towards that number. The largest one we've had was 258 just 3 weeks ago. So over the last couple of weeks, yeah, they did close off some of their long positions. That doesn't mean that this is the beginning of the big drop, okay? It's a good chance it is, but we got to be taking this into consideration that it may not be, okay? But the fact that we're so close to all-time maximum size leads us to suspect that we're likely going to be seeing a big drop in price soon. So shorting at supply zones is what we want to look at. When you look at the monthly time frame, there's no supply zones here. Okay, we're not contacting supply yet. And when you look at the weekly time frame, you can see there's no supply zones here. There's supply higher, but not here. Okay, so these are the things that I'm telling you makes it a little bit more difficult to time entry. So, so this supply zone, you know, it's decent odds that we see a reaction from there to the downside and eventually a big spillover. It's possible, but we could also be, you know, in the midst of more ranging. Okay, we could potentially see that hold, break, come down, you know, and then eventually drop. That could happen too. Okay, look at all the ranging that's been happening so far. So if you're going to be timing an entry short off of a daily area of supply, you want to make sure your timing is right. Do I think the timing is right? It's possibly at the right time, okay? We got silver contacting supply, which is indicating weakness, which is indicating the gold chart will drop, the dollar will rally, okay? We have our indications on the daily time frame for that. And so this all together leads us to suspect that euro will likely drop very soon, okay? So I'm watching for that, and I'm just being patient because I don't want to rush it, all right? Matthew, this week can be break what? Which one? Which chart were you talking about? Were you talking about the dollar breaking through supply this week? No, I don't think this week. I don't think this week. I don't think this week. But we'll see. We'll see. Okay. Bitcoin. All right. So Bitcoin on the dollar. Yeah. Bitcoin's contacted institutional demand. Okay. This is a demand zone where the big banks were buying right here. They bought here, which caused price to go up here. And now they came in and they're buying again. Okay. Drop, test of demand, second drop, second test of demand. This could be getting ready to propel to the upside. Only thing is that on the daily time frame, when price came down to this area of demand, on the weekly, it created new demand on the daily, but this demand wasn't used to propel price higher. So you got to start thinking, well, wait a minute. Why would the banks create demand on a lower time frame off of a higher time frame demand zone and not come back into that demand zone and continue buying? Isn't that the whole purpose of coming down into a weekly demand zone, is that they want to buy? Yes, exactly. That is the whole purpose. So why didn't they hold? Well, there's a certain dynamic playing out here on the chart. So for me to be comfortable going long, I need to set an alert above daily supply. And daily supply zone has been removed. Look for a long entry. All right. So since I know the dynamic is they created a range here, I need that supply zone that's holding price to the downside to be removed first, okay? Excuse me. So that's what I'm looking at with respect to Bitcoin. S&P 500 came down into daily demand, reacted to the upside, hit for the 1 hour supply, and now is dropping. So this is pretty significant right here. Because the fact that the banks came in with buying here off this daily demand zone would lead me to suspect that if they were going to continue buying, this area would have been removed and they would have continued pushing price to the upside. But that's not the case. It's holding. Okay. So if it continues to hold, price will drop down back into that daily demand zone, probably remove it, and then head lower. You know, we do have a really nice area of demand being created on the weekly time frame. So this could just be ranging until we see a drop into that demand. That's possible too. Okay. So these are things that I will be watching going forward with the S&P. Nonetheless, I'm looking for positions in stocks. Okay, long positions. NQ, same thing with that demand zone coming into play. Nice rally, potential for a drop into demand on the higher time frame. Excuse me. And Dow, not much here. Okay. And let's take a look at Tesla. Just sitting at the highs there, consolidating after creating demand. Week, yeah. I'd like to see a big drop into this demand zone, and then I'd like to go long there. Nvidia, strong. Came into daily demand, and it's just jetting up. Microsoft looks good. Wanted to drop lower for a long. Meta, pulling back. Nice. Google pulling back into daily demand. And Apple removing significant supply, not quite ready for a long. So it's going to be some long trades coming soon. They're just not there yet. So we got to be patient, okay? And yeah, that's pretty much what I'm seeing here. Okay, folks, any questions on that? Yeah, I'll upload the level 3 class that we did. And I'm going to be starting a new class for level 3, going through all the video lessons. And we're going to go through all of them. The video lesson library, we're going to go through all the lessons there in the level 3. And we're going to discuss all the concepts and principles that we teach in level 3. And then we're going to apply them to the live markets, okay? Let me see. Hello, sir. Last week I asked to say something. Make me join with you teaching. I want to thank you, man, for what you do. No one offer all this information you learn. You teach us after 3 years learning. God bless. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. I'm here to help you out. All right. All right, folks. There you go. If you enjoyed this session, hit the like button. If you didn't, hit the like button. And come and join us in the Telegram channel, all right, where we will continue on with this journey. Okay, folks, so that's it. I will get the level 3 class that we did on Friday out, and then the new level 3 class that we're going to start on Monday, this coming Monday, is going to be a review of all the video lessons that we have, of all the concepts and principles that we teach in level 3. So if you've been curious what we teach on the highest level here at the school, now's your time to join. All right, folks, that's it. You take care, and we'll talk to you soon.